Jared Sanchez. So realistically, who should the Steelers with their first pick in the second round take? So that's at pick 49.
I think Pittsburgh should look on the interior of the offensive line in light of the Ramon Foster retirement and losing B.J. Finney, if I'm remembering that correctly. I think interior O-line makes sense. There will be guys available. I think a potential sleeper route here for Pittsburgh, I would not be stunned if they went running back. I feel like maybe they're a little bit over, potentially, James Conner and the rest of that grouping back there.
I also just want to say good job. I'm seeing we hit 746 comments per minute. That's what's up. That's what's up. Let's keep those numbers going. We got a super chat rolling in here from Henry. What up, Henry? CeeDee Lamb at 12 or Justin Jefferson at 19. Would be happy either way. We should try to trade back the 19th pick. Should pick Fulton if we do. So this is regarding the Raiders who have pick 12, pick 19. I like Justin Jefferson a lot, but I agree. I would rather have CeeDee Lamb at 12 than Jefferson at 19. And if you're the Raiders, I do think trading back, trying to get in there to that second round makes a lot of sense. Some teams that I think of, the Colts, who got picked 34 and 44. The Ravens, they're sitting there with pick 28, 55, and 60. And then I believe the Rams, they just made that trade. So I think that picks like 52, 57, and a third rounder. I'd be all on board that for the Raiders. We got another super chat from S.Y. Gray. Is it A-Y or E-Y? Somebody answer that. Do the Lions ignore a trade request and take Okudah at 3?
I don't think that they will ignore them because I think the Lions would love to trade down for a couple reasons. A, they need extra draft picks. That's kind of that general front office philosophy. B, there is a very real scenario where if the Lions can get the Dolphins in particular to move up from 5 to 3, the Giants are not going to take Okudah. They just paid James Bradbury. They drafted DeAndre Baker in round 1 last year. They've invested enough at the cornerback spot. So I don't think Okudah makes sense at 4. So if you move down from 5 to 3, even if you only get maybe the Dolphins 39th overall pick, that early round 2 selection, you can add an extra top 40 pick and still get Jeffrey Okudah, which is why I wonder if some of those Tua injury reports and the Dolphins loving Herbert, is Miami trying to leak, hey, we don't want to move up for Tua, Detroit, we don't want that. We want to stand pat at number 5. We don't want to give up the asset and force the Lions to make that pick at 3 of Okudah, or maybe even Isaiah Simmons.
So Jeff Okudah, I know we got some Ohio State people that watch this channel, that's for sure. I'm not going to mention the reason why we get a lot of Ohio State people watching, but I know we do. So shout out your favorite college football team down below. So if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Facebook, we'll give some shout outs here. I see Bro Cave saying LSU. I'm a Penn State guy. Tom is more of a Miami of Ohio. Yeah, they got the UC Bearcats. Okay. USC fight on from King Higgins. A lot of LSU. I see some MSU, some Bama, Kentucky. Continue to get those flowing in here. And remember to use hashtag draft, or you can super chat like my man, Mark Martinez there. What up, Mark? Okay. I did a sim with the Falcons, 16 and 47 for the Raiders, 12 and 81. That was approved. I mean, honestly, that's a trade I would make. It's probably in terms of fair value. However, I think if you're the Raiders, I wouldn't really try to give up that third rounder.
You're kind of in a tricky spot. I mean, you're moving from 16 to 12, so the Falcons are not going to give you 47 straight up. That's not the right value involved there. I still wonder if that's too much the Falcons are giving up. Maybe 91 makes a little bit more sense, but the Sims depend on which way you're moving. If you're trading down, they're more likely to end up accepting it, especially if you're getting back less.
Mark, appreciate you. Hope we can tailgate soon. Let's go to John. Is it possible the Jets take a running back this year? What round and players are you guys thinking?
I hadn't really thought too much about the Jets' late round potentially going after a back. They, of course, paid Lev Bell big-time money. They've tried to invest some later round picks at the running back spot, like with guys like, I think Trent Cannon was one of them more recently. So I would say maybe day 3 the Jets start to look that route, but I think based on what the Eagles historically have done, where the new GM comes from for the Jets, I think they might focus on extra trench players instead, but I think that is certainly possible. So maybe I
don't know if they go running back, and I know this is a player that you and I both like, Tom. They do have Kenneth Dixon. I've been on the Kenneth Dixon hype train for a while. Maybe the Jets can finally put it together with Dixon.
I'm out.
You're out? You're done?
I cut him in my dynasty league. I'm out.
It's probably a smart decision. Okay, so how many rounds of the draft will y'all watch? The correct answer, and I want all y'all. I saw we got to 800 comments per minute, so I know it's possible. I want all y'all to start commenting 7, and we're going to be live for all 7 rounds. Analysis of every single pick. Tom and I, we're going to probably have Thomas Mott maybe come on. Harrison Graham's going to be on. We're going to have a lot of fun. So go ahead, type your 7, and if you're not already subscribed, you guys know what to do. Click that big red button. Let's go to Kyle Nelson. Got a super chat time. What teams look to be trading up in the later part of the first round? Well, Kyle, first off, I did make a video of 7 teams that could potentially trade up. If you haven't seen it, just another reason to subscribe to the channel. I also have a video of 7 teams that could trade down. So, Tom, who do you think are maybe some teams that could trade up later on in the first round?
Yeah, look, I think in terms of jumping into the back end of round 1 from round 2, I think the Colts make sense if they want to go get a quarterback. A team like the Chargers, if they want some offensive line help. Dolphins have the assets to be aggressive. You can never rule out Houston because Bill O'Brien has gone crazy over there. From the back end of round 1 moving up, maybe Green Bay gets worried about getting a linebacker or receiver, and they end up getting hyper-aggressive at pick number 30. But historically speaking, those back end of round 1 teams, they're normally a little bit more likely to move down. I think for this year's draft, especially outside that top 20, I think it's going to be a market in which there are a lot of teams trying to sell, maybe not that many trying to move up.
I think another team that I would mention that could trade up is the Chargers at pick 37, especially if a quarterback does slide down to hop over a team like the Colts. Another super chat coming in from Kilgore. What up, Kilgore? How you been? It's been a while, I feel like, since Kilgore's been on here. Hey, guys, is there anywhere that Henry Ruggs can drop to 17 for the Cowboys? If not, should the Cowboys draft heavy at receiver? If so, who? Y'all have a good day. Kilgore, you have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, Kilgore. I think there is a possibility that Ruggs falls to 17. I'm going to go no, that he isn't available at that point. There could be one of the other guys in the big 3 available there. I think in this year's draft class, I wouldn't mind a receiver at 17, but you can afford to wait. You can wait until day 2 or maybe the very beginning of day 3 in round 4 and get a receiver. If you do wait, I also don't mind the idea of taking somebody in round 7 or maybe moving around and getting another round 6 pick and adding another body at receiver, because you got some guys at the back end of your depth chart. They're just not that great, frankly.
Kilgore, appreciate you and appreciate everyone watching right now. We got over 1,000 people joining us live, and I don't think y'all are subscribed to the channel. And if you need a reason to subscribe, last year Chat Sports was the #1 most watched draft coverage in the entire internet. So go ahead, click that subscribe button. If you can't find the sub button, we'll put it in the comments. We'll put it in the description below. But Tom and I are going to be live for all 7 rounds. All 3 days, you will not find another company that will cover the NFL draft the way Chat Sports does. The way that we do giveaways. I mean, we do it all, Tom. I don't know what else to tell people. Go ahead, subscribe. You're going to love it. All right, let's get into this next super chat here. Matthew Leon. Okay, looks like it's a Raiders question. Go Raider Nation. Cowgirls' worst uniforms. In Mayock we trust. Go Raiders. So 12, CeeDee or trade up for Okudah if he slides. I do think the 2 most likely players that the Raiders trade up for are Jeffrey Okudah or Isaiah Simmons. And, yeah, I agree with everything else.
I'm not going to take that bait. Nice try.
But, Tom, it's a super chat. Matthew, appreciate you, my man. Let's go to the next one from Aaron Prince. Okay, what is Kuiper smoking? I'm not sure. No offensive tackle to the Dolphins in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I completely agree, Aaron. This refers, of course, to Mel Kiper's most recent mock draft in which they went Justin Herbert at number 5 overall. Then they took Javon Kinlaw. Then they took Antoine Winfield. Then they took Robert Hunt, a guard. And then they took Michael Pittman, a receiver. I agree. If you're the Dolphins, you got to get a tackle within your first 5 picks. At least one. You cannot spend 1 pick total on the offensive line. So, Aaron, I completely agree. That's a pretty big oversight by Kiper.
Let's go to Mayberry Plays with another super chat. And with all these people watching, Tom and I might not be able to get all to your questions. So remember, super chat, it's a way to get on. Do the Cowboys trade up to try and fill the slot wide receiver need?
Not in round 1. Slot receiver is a need, but you can find those guys on day 2 in round 3 Maybe later on in the draft, they make a move up to go get somebody in particular, but there are enough quality slot receivers throughout this draft that I don't think they have to move up for somebody. So I don't think, especially in round 1, they're going to make a move up for a receiver.
Okay, appreciate the question there, Mayberry. Maybe you might want this hat. Go to chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. Shout out your favorite team right now in the comments section. And while you're down there, go ahead and click the link so you guys can rep your favorite team during the NFL draft day. So we got chatsports.com/draft hat. These bad boys under $40. They got the curved brim. We got the flat bill. I'm not sure if they're a snapback. Not sure about that, but if you guys need a new hat, maybe you're going bald, won't mention any names, go to chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. Let's get this Q&A, continue to roll here. We got Rock Lee. Who do my Hawks take at 27 if Gross Matoast is gone? That's an amazing autocorrect. God, I hope that's an autocorrect.
It's pretty funny. In terms of the Seahawks, I hate mock drafting for them. I don't know what they're going to do. If Gross Matoast is off the board, which he very well might be, I will throw out a name like Isaiah Wilson if they want to try and dip back into that right tackle well. He does fit as a mauling run blocker, what Seattle wants to do on offense.
Let's go to the next super chat from JG. Reality of a possible Raiders-Cowboys trade.
It's kind of tricky, Mitch, because they're pretty close together. And in pretty much all of them, Dallas will be trading up.
Yeah, I don't see it happening because I think the Raiders, maybe since they're so close, you could package a first and a third, but I would actually be surprised if the Raiders trade up at 19. I think the more likely is the Raiders trading back, so I'm going to say no.
Maybe your biggest issue here is that the Cowboys and Raiders combined have one 6th and 7th round pick, which makes it trickier for day 3 trades as well.
Very, very true. Let's go to the next super chat from SG Control. Should the Eagles try to trade for OBJ, or would it be better to draft a wide receiver in the first round?
Look, I think that OBJ would be a great addition for Philadelphia. I don't know how likely it ends up being. I don't think OBJ ends up getting dealt.
Yep.
And I think for Philadelphia, maybe what makes the most sense is maybe you try to be aggressive more so than you might normally be and move one of those draft picks you would end up taking for the Eagles or for Odell Beckham, packaging it with number 21, and then moving up and try and get one of the big 3 of Ruggs or Lamb or Jeudy instead. That might be a better path there.
I'm going to say I personally wouldn't draft or trade for OBJ because of how talented this class is. And also, I think OBJ's fun, but am I the only one that thinks he might just be a little bit overrated?